Hello. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I look like a mess right now. You're gonna watch me turn into this mess. My hair is just everywhere. It's been a rough video. Also, recently I've been kind of trying to do more makeup-y videos, so I was doing my makeup during this. As you can see, didn't turn out too good, but it's okay. We're just gonna move past it. I hope you enjoy this. It's about the storyline that takes place in the new Gambler video by Monsta. Basically, I just go into explaining the storyline and some symbols and other things like that, so I hope you enjoy. Happy Pride Month, y'all. Let's get into it. I look like a lion. My cat has a lizard right now. So if you hear a cat meowing really weird, it's because he's playing with a lizard. So not because he's in pain. Okay, so basically I'm going to, oh my god, I'm a lion right now. We're just not gonna mind my hair. Basically, I'm gonna start with the storyline and then go into some like hidden messages that were in the music video. Also, since it is Pride Month, I'm gonna be doing a Pride makeup look. So let's get started. Alright, so as you could probably tell, this whole music video is about a secret auction that is being held inside of this, I want to call it like a hotel or a plaza, something like that, something very big and fancy. And we see most of the members stealing an invitation to get into this event or auction. Juhan specifically kidnaps the auctioneer and takes his name tag and his gavel for the auction. For Minhyuk, when he steps out of the elevator, he sees a man and basically he chokes him out with his tie. And throughout some of the dancing scenes, I found this kind of interesting. You can see that his tie is loose, like it carried on into the dancing. I just thought that was kind of like a neat little thing for them to add. Hyungwon was watching a man inside of the hotel bar who was reading a newspaper. The newspaper actually begins to tell us what exactly is going on here. It is called Monsta News, and it says publication by X-Clan Origins Trespass since 2015. Which is their debut date and their debut song. A lot of this music video had to do with their debut, so it's quite interesting. Below, the article says first gem ever discovered in history, and it says next to it MX0514, about to be released into the world through auction. The sequence MX0514 is Monsta X's debut date, 5/14. Voiceover me popping in to tell you that this next part I'm about to say is very wrong, and afterwards I'll explain some correlation, but take this next part kind of with a grain of salt because I was wrong, but it's still kind of important. But we have seen this through multiple of their music videos like Dramarama, The Connect Destroyer, and Alligator. This number has been used to mess with time throughout Monsta X music video and represent coordinates like in Destroyer. It's also seen with the watch. As you can probably see with the pictures that I use, there is a difference in numbers from the music videos that I mentioned. Since it is used more as a math equation, I still think that this could have to do with time manipulation, since this music video has been relating a lot to their debut date and the origins by referencing X-Clan and Trespass. I might just be wanting to believe that I'm not completely wrong, but the only thing I can really compare what these numbers mean is to that math sequence, since in the music video there's still a lot of reference to 5/14. Like most Monsta X's lore, we're just gonna have to wait and see what this gem could do like for the next music video, but if we're placing our bets, I am gonna think that it's something to do with time manipulation. I think this gem is going to help them control time, because I kind of believe that This is the storyline that has the 7 deadly sins, and they haven't really had the watch in this timeline. If you want to learn more about that, I suggest watching my other videos for Monsta, but I will explain a little bit more. We kind of saw them start to control it back in Follow, so I wouldn't really say that they have a lot of time control in the 7 deadly sins timeline. It does also seem like these characters are still kind of loosely tied to the Fatal Love characters that they played, and the whole kind of like murderous stigma makes sense in this. They are also still sticking with the movie scenes because I guess this music video was based off of Ocean's 11.
You bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this speech, a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed it. That was good. I liked it.
Which has to do with a heist. So this is kind of like a heist. It's also a sting, which is like a setup where people, like mostly everyone knows what's going on except for the person that they're tricking. So they're all working together, basically. They're staging the sting during the auction to get the gem. It seems like Shonu was the one who brought the gem, or he had the money that the guy was gonna spend for the auction. The event is scheduled for 6/01 at 6 p.m., which is the time that the music video premiered. We can kind of see Chankyan creating this type of machine, and we don't get to see it work until Kian, who's in like the basement part of this plaza, sets it on a type of energy power plant thing. Not plant, but you know what I mean. And this is to cause a blackout, which is what we see later on. When the bidding starts, each person has their own little bid sign. That's what I'm gonna call it. Don't think that's the right term. So on the bidding signs, the guy that, isn't a member, his says 5/14, which again, Monsta X's debut date, which really makes me think like how important this number is during this entire music video. Like they're using it so much, way more than we've seen in other music videos. So it's kind of, I think it is trying to show us that that gem is to control time. And then the other numbers that the members are holding show their birthdays. So like Kian, his birthday is November 22nd, and then Chankyun's says 1/26, January 26th. I'm trying to remember these all off of my head. I'm probably getting them wrong. But yeah, it's their birthdays. So it kind of seems, I want to say that Minhyuk wins the bidding. Obviously it wasn't the white guy because he looks very upset that he wasn't winning the bid because everyone else was still bidding on the item. So I want to say that Minhyuk was the one that won the bid, and Kihyun got upset and started to walk over to Minhyuk. Minhyuk and Kihyun start a fight together, and everybody's watching, very important. This fight basically cause a distraction, which leads to a blackout. And if you remember earlier, that's what Chankyan and Kihyun set up underneath the plaza. And then all the lights turn back on. They kill all the non-members and escape with the gem in squad cars. So to look into other bits of maybe why this gem was so important, I decided to do some research on red gems and kind of what they represent with the help of a friend who knows a lot about this kind of stuff. So that was helpful. Now keep in mind, I personally don't know a lot about gems, so I might say things wrong. Sorry if you do know a lot about gems. I'm not going to do this justice, so just, I don't know. I'm going to give like the basic meaning, but I'm sure someone out there like knows the exact type that this gem is and all this stuff. But I was also kind of trying to think like, would they go that deep into this, like make it a very specific gem, or would they just make it like a red gem being like a ruby or something? So we basically found out that this gem could be either a ruby or a red spinel, but I think the ruby might have closer symbolism to what we're looking at. So a ruby is considered a stone of love, energy, passion, power, and a zest for life. So Obviously with Seven Deadly Sins, as we've seen through other music videos, power is like a really big factor. Like they always want power because they're the sins. I have a lot of videos that really go into details on which member represents which sin and how we see it throughout music videos and why it's not in other music videos, because those music videos are more about timeline, like time manipulation. So there's two different timelines going on. I've explained this in other ones. Another thing that's like really important, and I was so like shocked. I mean, I might be like reading into this too much, but in the bar when Hyungwon is looking at that guy who has the newspaper, very fast it shows the other side of the newspaper, and there's a couple articles. I tried to like enhance the video and slow it down a whole bunch. Like it's really hard to read because the text is so small, but what I got from it was most of the articles were about like fashion and the, sorry, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but the Joseon dynasty.
조선.
So I was trying to like search up to see if that gem also had to do with that dynasty, but I didn't really find anything. It could have something to do with it, but I'm not too sure. About some English. I'm about to do some really heavy eyeliner, so be prepared. So there was something mentioning like a castle, this castle view, all this stuff. I was like, is that important? Could not find anything about it. Maybe it is important, maybe it isn't. But what is very important, someone on that set decided to sneak a reference in for OT7, and I want to personally thank that person. And again, like I said, I might be thinking way too like deep into this, but just remember that someone in this team who worked on the set wrote word for word this newspaper out. Someone had to review it, so obviously this was on purpose. And it was written with vital information for the auction. So obviously they would know that everybody would be trying to read what's on the newspaper front and back. There was no fixing this, but I thought I could try. No, I thought that I was like a genius for seeing this, but no, some people on Instagram also figured it out, so I'm not as cool as I thought I was. On the back part, bottom left of the newspaper, it says, who is the real leader of all seven is the most prevalent. 7, not 6, which is what they've been doing to us recently. Pointing out that there's only 6 because it's the 6th year anniversary, which is painful, but 7 specifically. And you can't really read what's happening before the part where it says of all 7, because the guy's hand is like in front of it. So it's kind of all we get. It's just like the 7, the number 7. My personal opinion on what this could mean for them, I have been thinking for a while that after what GOT7 did, leaving JYP because their 7-year contract was up, and now they're all signed to different companies, but they're still a part of GOT7 and are still going to be making music as GOT7. What I think is going to happen is next year, Monsta X is either, personally, I do not want them to sign with Starship, because Starship, go watch Mistreatment of Monsta X video on YouTube. They're not good, but I don't want them to sign because they should be at a much better company, or even just be themselves, kind of like what the Rose is doing. But I think a possibility is after this last year, some of the members like Shonu and Wano is also gonna have to go into the military for 2 years, so that leaves the other members. I don't think that they're gonna be making music as Monsta X. I mean, they could, obviously, but I think that they're gonna be focusing on more of a solo aspect, since we're seeing a lot of them begin to branch out into solo activities. Like, obviously Wano has his own solo setup, and then earlier this year, Juhan came out with Psyche, and then Changhyun came out with Goddamn. And then I think there was talk of Minhyuk coming out with a solo, and I would love to hear each voice have their own song. I think that would be really good since they haven't done that yet. I mean, they have like different OSTs for TV shows, but I want them to have like their own full song, and then that'll set up a bit of freedom for each member. And if they do decide to come back as Monsta X, each person will have a solo. So if we're talking concert wise, it would be like everyone would get a solo and not just have to perform as Monsta X the entire time, with Wano there too. So I think if they do decide to re-sign with Starship for another 7 years, then hopefully it'll bring Wano back. But if they don't, I think that there's a better opportunity that Wano would come back to them, or at least do some collabs as Monsta X if they decide to not sign with Starship again. I'm not sure how Wano's contract works though, because he's still under Highline, which is a subsidiary to Starship. So I don't know if he is still on his old contract, which I don't think it is, because when everything went down, they said he wasn't a part of his contract anymore. But I could be wrong about that. Like, I don't know too much about legalities of contracts. You know, I'm hoping that this is kind of giving us some kind of, hey, there's an opportunity that Wano is coming back, as we're mentioning the number 7. I have released other theory videos on this channel, or like explanation videos for Wano and his solos, because there is Monsta X lore in his solos. It's very important to see that even though he's not in these music videos, he's kind of still a part of them, but on a separate level. So I would suggest checking those videos out. I recently uploaded one that was comparing Ain't About You to Play It Cool, because when that came out, even when the teaser came out, everyone was like, oh my god, it's the same set. So obviously something is going on. So I decided to make a little video explaining it. And I also kind of explain why he's still in the lore. If you go back and look at my Losing You and Opened Mind video, those really go into it. But I have done his other music videos as well, because they all have something to do with the Monsta X lore. So I think he's still a part of it, even though he's not there, really. He's still a part of it, and they're obviously trying to make him still a part of it. So it's a big ball of confusion, but it's just great. I'm gonna finish my makeup off camera, and then I'm gonna come back, do the intro, and we'll talk. I'll see you soon. I wish I could describe to you the pain that I just went through once that camera got turned off. I messed up my eyeliner and had to take it all off, meaning that eye makeup too. And now it is very patchy. And then the glitter just like wasn't really cooperating, so nothing really looks nice, but I'm hoping from the camera far away that it looks okay. I also couldn't bother to put lashes on because my eyes have been through enough right now. She went from a lion to a dirty mop. It's kind of a mess right now. I'm a mess right now, so that's what we're gonna have to deal with for today. Anyways, I kind of hope that you like this explanation video, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like this video, and I know I said this like a million times in the video, but I do have a ton of other theories and explanations for Monsta X and Wano and some other groups. I don't know, I kind of just post whatever I feel like. So please check those out. Please share this video if you liked it. Do whatever you want. Yeah, hopefully I'll be coming out with another video super soon, so you guys aren't waiting like months, because I'm very bad at posting. Anyways, I hope you like this. Okay,